welcome back to my channel. Sorry my hair's a bit of a mess, I have been in the rain. And yeah, it's just a bit of a mess. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. You're going to be doing a story time, because I couldn't think of anything better to do. It's going to be story time on when I broke my ankle. This is a fun story to tell. Okay. So I can't remember exactly what I was doing. I think I was tidying my room and I was bringing a blanket downstairs to come and like wash it. And I was walking down the stairs. It was just a normal day. And the thing was, I kind of knew something was going to happen because I got to like the bottom step and I thought, oh, I'm at the bottom of the stairs now, I'm not going to fall down then. Snapped my ankle on the bottom step. It was horrible. I don't even know if the blanket got washed. But so I snapped my foot and I said ow 3 times. Like I said it quite like ow. I went to get up and then I went ow. And then I yelled ow really loudly. So then I was like, what happened? Because it was only my mum, because my sister had gone to the cinema. And so my mum was like, what's happened? And I was like, well, I think I broke my ankle. And she was like, why? And I was like, because I fell downstairs and it snapped. She was like, oh no. So she phoned my dad and then drove me to the hospital. And it really hurt. So I remember I got into the hospital and she got me a wheelchair, which I hate wheelchairs. I hate them because when you're in a wheelchair with a sore ankle, it hurts every single time. You stop and stop. And obviously there's like loads of curbs. I don't know why they put loads of curbs in there, but they did. So there's loads of curbs, so it was just like every second was just like pain. And hold on. Tea. It's not tea, it's tropical fizzy stuff. Anyway. I've been on my, what's it called again? I want to say wheelchair, and it just wasn't fun. So we got into the hospital. We had to drive like really far because the hospital where I live doesn't do children, it only does adults, so we had to drive like super far. And so we get there and I'm in a wheelchair, which is horrible. And then I think we had a lot of waiting to do, and then I got an x-ray, and I literally remember this being the worst part because I obviously my ankle was hurting. I had to take ibuprofen and paracetamol. The ibuprofen was fine because here's the thing with me, I hate medicine paracetamol. Like I can take paracetamol tablets fine, but medicine paracetamol like liquid makes me gag when I drink it. But they made me drink medicine. It was like horrible, and that was literally the scariest part of this whole thing. The medicine, I hated it. They made me drink it, so we did. It was horrible. And then the guy looked at my x-ray and he said, oh, I don't think it's broken. Sorry, that was my lights in the way. He was like, oh, I don't think it's broken, I think you're going to be okay. So I was like, oh great. He was like, I'm just going to double check this with one of my colleagues. So the woman came in and then took one look at my x-ray and she went, oh yeah, that's definitely broken. And I was like, oh no. So I had to go and get a back cast on, which is just like a makeshift cast before I get my actual cast on. So I got that on, and then I was meant to be playing out with my friends. Like, she came over when I just fell down the stairs. So anyway, after that her mum phoned me and asked me if I was with her, and I was like, well, sorry, but I'm not with her because I broke my ankle. She was like, oh no, well, that's not good, okay, get well soon. So it was horrible, and I phoned my sister on the way to the hospital. I'm going back in time now. On the way to the hospital, I phoned my sister and I said, can you make me, I'm literally on the way to the hospital, I just broke my ankle. She was like, oh no. So she said she'd make me my favourite dinner for tea, which was lasagna, which is lovely. Yeah, so she did. So we got back, and my sister came back from the cinema and made me lasagna, and I just sat on the couch the whole time. And then lots of my friends came over and gave me lots of presents, which was very nice of them. And it was really nice. And I just watched iCarly, and it was just so good. And I ate soup and stuff. It was really, really nice. Obviously not, because I had a broken ankle, but you know, it was okay. But like the worst part about breaking my ankle was when I broke it. Like, not in the middle of summer holidays, but coming to the end is when I broke it. So, and it was the summer holidays of year 6. I don't know what that is in America, but it's like the end of primary school. And I had to start high school with a broken leg, but I'll get to that part later. So, it was my sister's birthday coming up when I broke it. It was almost a year ago that I broke it now, wow. But it was my sister's birthday coming up, and well, it was her 21st, and we were going to Cardiff, which is in Wales. So I had to drive to Cardiff. I didn't drive, that'd be weird, but I had to like go on a long journey to Cardiff with a broken foot. It was a horrifying journey. I just remember hating it, and like we had to stop off at a gas station, and like I had to get out. And by the way, walking on my crutches was agony, because I was out of a wheelchair now and on crutches, and it hurt my hands so badly. Like, it was horrible. But we got to Cardiff, which was super fun, and we got to our hotel room, and everything I did was just hard because, well, yeah, I had a broken ankle. So everything I did was just difficult to do. Like going up the ramp to the hotel, going into the lift, coming out of the lift, going into my hotel room, going to bed. Everything was just like 10 times harder than it would have been if I hadn't broken my ankle. But so we were there, and we had to do quite a bit of walking to places because we had our car, but like we weren't taking it everywhere. So we were just walking everywhere, which was obviously hurting my hands a lot. So there were times when my dad had to carry me, so that wasn't great. But we'd go to like restaurants, and I'd have to walk there and walk back. It was horrible. But you know, I got through it, and we went to we went to a museum, and my parents had decided to get me a wheelchair for the museum so I didn't have to walk around it. Oh, it's the worst thing ever. Okay. I've never really been to like a museum with like mechanical things in it. When I say mechanical, I don't mean like I'm not too sure, like machines. I mean animatronic things that sorry, my cat just moved up there. And I'm talking about animatronic things, and it freaked me right out. But yeah, I'm terrified of animatronic things, like animatronic animals move. Ugh. Like one time I went to Blackpool, and I went on a roller coaster. It wasn't a roller coaster; it was just a ride. It was an Alice in Wonderland ride, and they had an animatronic Alice, and I instantly cried. I was 11. Oh, yeah, it was last year. So that happened anyway. So in the museum, there were so many mechanical things in there. But the worst part was the mammoths, because they were obviously really big, and I couldn't get away from them because I was in a wheelchair. My mum wanted to look at them, but I just had to sit there with my eyes closed in front of these big mammoths. My mum got me away from them pretty fast because I really hated them. It was horrible. And she put me in front of a stuffed cow, which was sad. I'm a vegetarian, so I don't like stuffed animals and stuff. But it was also quite scary because I just, like, there were, like, birds hanging from strings on the ceiling that would obviously, like, move with the breeze. It was horrible. Excuse me. My cat's up here, I don't know if you can see her. Oops. Hi. I don't know if you can see her, but she is there. Anyway, so it's just, I really did not like that. and wheelchairs are just horrible. There wasn't that much that was fun about that. That was a scary, scary day. So after that happened, we did lots of more walking, and then we went to Barry Island, which I can't remember much of. I can just remember sitting somewhere because my sister and my dad were walking to like a mountain or a hill or somewhere, and I obviously couldn't walk up it, so me and mum were just sitting down, and then I like needed the toilet or something, or I was hungry. Yeah, that just, it wasn't fun, okay? So anyway, we got home, and then it was time to start school, but I had to start a new school with a broken ankle. It was agony. Okay, there were some good parts about it though. So I'd leave school early to like go home, and for lunch and breaks and the end of my lesson I'd go early to avoid all the crowds. But I didn't know my way round, obviously, because it was a brand new school. So it was just like girl on crutches, like just like going around not knowing where I was or anything. And it was horrible. Really horrible. I made lots of friends, but it just wasn't fun. Oh, so starting high school with a broken ankle is not fun. And also couldn't do any PE. And I actually quite enjoy PE, so I couldn't do any PE, which was not fun. And then, so after I got my cast off, which wasn't too long after I joined school, but it was like, it wasn't like a couple weeks after, it was like a month or so after I joined school, I got my cast off. So then I was in a boot. That boot was the worst thing that I've ever felt. It was horrible. That boot, every time I took a step, it just felt like my ankle was breaking all over again. It was horrifying. And I had to obviously walk around school with that. And the first day I got it on, I was planning on going to all my upstairs lessons, which I obviously couldn't go to when I had my cast on. But I couldn't go up the stairs, and I cried quite a lot. Actually, I got like, it became lunchtime, and I was like, okay, upstairs lesson, but I couldn't really move, which was horrible. I had to like hop to everywhere, and I just couldn't like walk. It was horrible. I keep saying that, but it really wasn't fun. I couldn't like walk on my foot, and I was like, oh no, because I had history and geography upstairs, and I didn't want to walk up the stairs because I knew it would hurt, and I didn't know where my class was, what I was doing, and then like I was obviously, now I'm late for class because, well, I just didn't know what I was doing. So I started crying, and then some teacher was like, what's the matter? And I was like, well, I can't go upstairs and I don't know what to do. So I went into the sen room, which was like a little room. I can't really explain it, but that's where I used to go for my upstairs lessons anyway, so I just went in there while I had my boot on. That boot wasn't fun. It caused me so many problems. Like, there were so many times, like, school had to phone my mum and be like, can you get us some medicine, because, like, some, like, paracetamol or ibuprofen, because it was, like, constant pain in my foot every time I took a step, and I still couldn't do PE for so long. So I missed half my lessons because there were half of them upstairs, and I missed most of PE due to foot injuries. And then it was like, when I could do PE again, it was like half PE, because I obviously couldn't do much because I'd just broken my ankle. So it was just not very fun. And then, so now I'm okay. It happened last year, and I can do everything I could do. Like, occasionally it'll be like a tiny little twinge in my ankle, but usually it's all good, it's all fine. But it took so long to heal after I got my cast off. Like, it didn't take too long when my cast was on to get it off, like 6 to 7 weeks I had my cast on for, but it was just afterwards was horrifying. I can just remember it just being horrible. And as you can see, I have like a ladder bed, which obviously didn't help because I had to climb up the ladder every night for bears with a broken ankle. I can do everything I can do now, and it didn't really stop me doing anything because I used to be like quite a gymnast and just had to like learn all the skills again, I guess. Yeah, it just wasn't that great. But that's the end of this story time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.